I am now going to be talking about some of the players that I am the most excited to see. We haven't really done a whole lot of opinions on this channel, but now that the season is going to hit its stride, I'm going to have the opportunity to do that a lot more because it's going to be a lot more reaction based than it is just kind of reading you guys stats and giving you a quick thought on what I think this opponent's going to do, how I think this player is going to do. We're just basing this on pure hype tonight. So these are my own personal rankings. Dispute me if you please in the comments. I would love to see what you guys think as well, as I always do. Number 10, running back Kaden Feagin. Now, Kaden Feagin missed almost the entirety of 2024, which is exactly why he is one of my most hyped players. He's one of the players I am the most excited to watch this year because I'm really glad to have him back, and especially with the added touches that he's going to get right with Josh McCray running off to Georgia, really the only major loss that Illinois suffered due to the transfer portal. I know there were some in the draft, but really excited to have Kaden Feagin back on the field, right? And it's I think it's going to be quite a timeshare between him and Aiden Lawfrey. But I'm really, really glad to have him back, and I wish him nothing but the best in his return. I mean, obviously, you never quite know what you're going to get out of a player that is just coming back, right, from nearly a year-long injury. He only played a couple games in 2024. But I have every confidence that he's going to be just as explosive as he was before, and he's going to be that real power back that they need to complement the more explosive back in Aiden Lawfrey. Number 9, I have Justin Bowick. So I am going to be still talking about some newcomers because these newcomers I'm really excited to see. There are a few on this top 10 list. I'm really excited to see Justin Bowick play. I think he's going to be a lot better than people realize. He was at Ball State last year. Shout out the Cardinals. Played like 3 or 4 games, and he decided to redshirt the rest of the season so he'd have a year of eligibility. Like, he absolutely dominated in those games. You can get the full stats if you want to go back to the position group preview for wide receiver, because wide receiver is another very crucial position for this Illini squad, right? On the defensive end, it's the defensive line that we've already kind of talked about tonight, talking about camp and whatnot. But it's going to be wide receiver for the Illini offensively. It's going to be so hard to fill those holes, right, that we lost between Pat Bryant going to the Broncos and Zachary Franklin also leaving for the NFL. So it's they're going to be big shoes to fill for sure. But I'm really excited to see how Justin Bowick is going to contribute. He's never played at this high level before, but he has dominated at every level he's played at, including the MAC for a short period of time last year with the Ball State Cardinals. So Justin Bowick could even become their number 1, but he's not going to be their number 1 out of the gate, at least, because that is going to be number 8 on my list, Hudson Clement, who is the wide receiver transfer from West Virginia, coming over with his brother, who is a defensive back as well. I am also really excited to see what Hudson Clement has to offer. Brett Bielema said that he thought he was the best player on West Virginia's roster last season, and he went out and got him and his brother just to be the cherry on top. So I am also really excited to watch Hudson Clement make his Illini debut this Friday. He's a great deep ball threat. He's got big shoes to fill, but he's going to be the clear number 1 out of the gate. He had a great season with the Mountaineers last year. I think him and Justin Bowick combined are going to be really exciting to watch at that wide receiver position. And I also have them on this list. Now, maybe they're not the top 10 players on this team. And again, these are the players I'm most excited to watch. I am really excited to see Kaden Feagin return to the field. And I am really excited to see both Justin Bowick and Hudson Clement suit up for our Illini and see what they got for better or for worse. But I have a good feeling about both of these two. They both had great seasons last year, even though Bo Wicks was only a couple of weeks. He was absolutely dominant in those couple of weeks. And Hudson Clement, Brett Bielema doesn't have enough good things to say about him. I can't wait to see these guys work as a tandem starting Friday. Seventh now we're going to get into some more familiar names, is the offensive lineman Melvin Priestley. Now, he's not as sexy of a pick on the Illini offensive line as J.C. Davis is, who's selected for all these preseason awards and whatnot. But Melvin Priestley is still an absolute rock on a very, very experienced offensive line. He is one of the key players that they needed back this year. He may not stand out to you on the stat sheet, but I'm really excited to see and really just glad to have Melvin Priestley back for another year. He is just as important to that offensive line as J.C. Davis is, right? Without any of them, this wouldn't work. I'm so glad to just, have their entire line back. When does that ever happen? We're almost spoiled as Illini fans, really, with getting to see all these guys play again. So I'm really excited to see Melvin Priestley. I have him at number 7. At number 6, I got one more newcomer for you, and then it's going to be all familiar faces from here on out, is tight end Cole Rusk. Tight ends have been very quiet at Illinois in the Brett Bielema era, but he is definitely trying to change that. Even though he did get Tip Ryman to the NFL going to my Cardinals, he was drafted only because he's a blocking tight end, right? And that has mainly been the role of tight ends in the Brett Bielema era at Illinois, but he definitely is trying to change that. He went after some big tight end recruits this offseason, as you saw me reacting to. Didn't get them, but it was really nice to be in the mix and know that they're really going for it. They are going for a top-tier tight end and adding that to their scheme. And I think we are going to see some of that this year, even though none of those 4 stars that they were after are coming to Illinois in 2026. Cole Rusk is a transfer from Murray State, who I think is going to have a heightened role compared to what we've seen from tight ends at Illinois the past couple of years. I'm really interested to see how Bielema is going to use him, because they are starting to shift that way, use tight ends more, especially with I don't want to bash the guys, because I love Justin Bowick, Hudson Clement. So this isn't shade, but just, a less polished, less experienced wide receiver group, less reliable, at least at the start of the year, wide receiver group than they had last year. There's definitely going to be a higher dependency on the tight end position that really wasn't there last year. And so I think Cole Rusk is going to be another surprising mid-major transfer for the Illini. And I'm really excited to see how they're going to use him, because honestly, I don't know. I don't really have an answer for you on that one. But I think Cole Rusk is going to be he's definitely going to fill up the stat sheet more than tight ends have in the last couple of years in that Brett Bielema era at the University of Illinois. Number 5, I have running back Aidan Laughery. I am really excited to see what this dude is going to do in 2025. I think he will be the primary back. Obviously, they'll have a timeshare between him and Caden Fagan, but Caden Fagan is going to be more that power back, short yardage back, goal line back. But Aidan Laughery is just absolutely explosive. We really put it on display, too, at Wrigley Field against Northwestern towards the end of the year. He really came about once he got those touches due to Caden Fagan being gone. And he is going to be a lot better than I think a lot of people realize. If he gets going and they get a dependable run game between him and Fagan, this offense is going to be absolutely unstoppable. No question. I trust that the wide receiver group is going to get it done. These running backs can produce just like they did last year, really. And Laughery, again, even more heightened role now that Josh McCray is gone. It was really unclear then. Now I think Aidan Laughery is going to be the guy along with Caden Fagan. I'm really excited to see how both of them handle it because they didn't really work together last year, right? Fagan went down and then Lawfrey got those touches. So I'm excited to see them as a running back tandem this year. I am particularly excited to see Aiden Lawfrey take that next step, get a full year of touches. And number 4, then, these last 4 is like, I think you guys already know who these last 4 are going to be, right? Because it's a pretty obvious core 4. 4th is on the offensive line, J.C. Davis, that heart and soul of the offensive line. Again, they brought them all back, but J.C. Davis is a nationally recognized talent on all these preseason award watch lists. I just can't. Having a dependable offensive line is so important, let alone having a dependable, experienced offensive line with a talent like J.C. Davis on it. It's just really nice to have him back. At number 3 is another guy we're very glad to have back, and that is quarterback Luke Altmyer, who is back despite all the speculation. Without having an experienced QB, this whole thing would fall apart. But one of those many starters returning is the quarterback who's already been there and already knows the system. They're going to have no problems like that. I think getting Luke Altmyer back is a big part of what separates Illinois from Indiana, why Illinois is ranked higher than Indiana, despite Indiana making the playoff last year, is that Indiana is bringing back a lot of starters, but they're not bringing back their quarterback. And that is the most important position in all of sports. There's just absolutely no question about that. Getting Luke Altmyer back is absolutely huge. He is going to make waves in his final year with the Illini. I can't wait to see what he'll do. Yes, he'll have a new receiver core, some new pass catchers, both receiver and a tight end. But I don't think that's going to be any problem. He's working with the same line. He's working with the same running backs. And there's just going to be a lot of consistency and familiarity. That's going to be good to see out of the offense. At number 2 is safety Xavier Scott. He is an NFL-level talent. You cannot tell me otherwise. He could have gone to the NFL last year and decided to come back to Illinois for another year, polish up his skills, wanted to be a part of this team. And I just love that kind of energy that he's going to bring as the leader of this secondary. And this defense is particularly good and particularly brought back a lot of players. So I'm really excited to have him around. Excuse me. And then, sorry, I don't mean to gloss over him, but I got to go kind of quickly. I've been talking y'all zero. Linebacker Gabe Yakas is my number 1 play. I mean, he's a first-round talent. He is on every preseason award watch list that he could possibly qualify for. He is a top player in the country, and he is going to put that fully on display this year. All these players are going to make waves, whether they've been at Illinois or they're new to Illinois. I'm really excited to watch all 10 of these guys and much more outside of these 10 guys play this year.